What up, everybody? Welcome back. This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. There's going to be a lot more videos. I'm going to get a lot more active on this channel. I'm really inspired and encouraged by the support that y'all give. We're going to have videos on varied topics. Today, I want to discuss, it felt weird. Look, I celebrate a lot of moments, and I want to try to celebrate more moments of anniversaries, albums that we love, like, just important things that happen in hip hop, as well as talking about the current state of hip hop. But it's weird because I find it hard a lot of times to celebrate myself and the things that I do. So I figured I'd take the time to do this, and I don't want to make this too long, but on July 28th, 2017, a lot of y'all who don't know me for media, but I dropped my first album on July 28th, 2017. It's called Right to Dream. It was through Empire Distribution. A lot of people question why I dropped the album. I had a lot of support too. A lot of people question why I dropped Right to Dream, why I dropped the album, why I started rapping. And the answer is that I always was a writer. I always rapped. I always did music since I was a kid. Maybe 12 years old, I wrote my first rhyme. When I'm in high school, I'm battling people, and not so much like the Smack DVD battles with the or the URL battles like acapella. I was doing more like 8 Mile stuff. You ever seen the movie 8 Mile? DJ throws on the beat, you get a couple seconds. The next guy get a couple seconds, and you go rounds like that. Been in the studio during the blog era. I had records on the blog. It just so happened that journalism, I just built a bigger name in journalism, and actually paid me more, and I was able to make a living off of it. I remember when I was working at Double XL, Dayton Thomas was the editor-in-chief at the time, and I had some records on Now Right and Two Dope Boys, and he noticed, and I would take my glasses off, like on some Clark Kent Superman shit, and I would take my glasses off, and so people like wouldn't recognize me right away without my glasses. But he saw it, he was like, "Yo, is this you?" Like, and I wasn't rapping under my government name back then. I wasn't rapping under Rob Markman like I am now. He was like, "Yo, is this you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Damn, that's why your interviews are so dope." Like, he was like, "You relate to artists in a different way because you know how to create. This is dope." And Daytwan encouraged it. When Daytwan was on his way out as editor-in-chief, I actually got a call and said that I had to make a decision. I either had to quit rapping or Double XL was gonna let me go. And it was crazy because I wasn't doing nothing wrong. So why do I do it? One, I just love it, and music for me is a way to express myself. Like, there's things that I could talk about in the music that I can't talk about. Like, it's hard to get into this camera and talk about, or when I'm interviewing with an artist, it's not my place to, I'll bring my personal experience into an interview with an artist when it makes sense, when it aids that conversation. But these interviews aren't about me; they're about that artist. So, I didn't really. Music always just gave me a way to express myself. Like, again, on my first album, Right to Dream, the first track was called Last Night, and it is a story, it's a true story about the day I almost got shot. Like, the day I walked outside of my house, and two dudes from my block, it was just like some freak accident shit. Two dudes from my block just started shooting at each other. I happened to be in the middle, like literally could feel bullets like whizzing by, and then waking up the next morning. So the first track is called Last Night, and I'm telling that story. The last track on the album is called This Morning, and waking up the next morning feeling like, damn, like, I'm still here. I could not be here. Granted, I wasn't a target in that situation, but we seen people get killed for less. Like it just happens. Like, we're from these neighborhoods where it just happens and there's no explanation for it. And so that's what the whole Right to Dream album is about, and living your life to the fullest. And I had some joints on there, like I Don't Want to Wait, where I'm talking about my older brother getting locked up. Like, the guy that I look up to for guidance goes away to prison. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like 13. and my older brother goes away for prison on a crazy charge, and then me, another guy that I used to hang out with who was older than me, took on like that older brother role, and he was in the street, he was hustling, and so I'm young, I'm impressionable now, and I'm like, yo, put me on, let me hustle, let me get some of this money, and that guy having seeing enough in me, or just whatever, wanting to protect me, like he got mad at me and said, nah, this ain't for you, this life ain't for you, you should do music or something, this ain't for you. So like telling those stories, right, these are like deeply personal stories, but it made me who I am today. So I could do that with the music. So yeah, look, I say all that to say I got a record called Right to Dream. That was the first record, July 28th, 2017. That's my why, to express myself. It was never to be famous, or I want to be respected because I love the art of rap and lyricism. So that's part of it too. Definitely want my respect, but a lot of it is like therapeutic for me. You know what I'm saying? If for anybody that's heard and supported my music, I appreciate you. Like it means the world to me. And if you haven't and you're interested, go check it out. I wouldn't start with the Right to Dream album though. You can check out my latest album. It's all on Spotify, on DSPs. It's Rob Markman. But with Right to Dream, I made that album, and I had a lot of ideas. I probably didn't have the resources and really the know-how on how to put it together. There's a lot of great ideas on that album. There's dope music, dope lyrics, but it's not my favorite because I didn't put the total package together. But I put that together in the room with my man Ryo, who engineered it. Hovain, rest in peace. Hovain helped me get my deal to be able to put that record out. And he's not here anymore, man, but that guy believed in me. And Justice League gave me some beats. My man Devious Mind gave me some beats. Sap gave me some beats. Chasing Cash gave me a beat. So, I thank all those guys for believing in me. But if you never heard my music before, I would suggest, if it's just one song, go listen to Fake Chains. The video is on the channel. That's the last video I shot. It was last year, Fake Chains. If you want to listen to a project, If You Don't, You'll Regret It was the last full-length project that I put out, and I'm the most proud of that. But, and I'm back in the studio, so I'm going to continue to make music. But, I share everything with y'all, and a lot of comments that I get from y'all is like, oh, man, like, we rock with you, or we rock with this channel because it's authentic. We know who you are. We know your intention. We see where your heart is at. And it's harder for me to maybe talk about my own stuff than it is to talk about somebody else's album that I love. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easier for me to talk as a fan than to sit up here and talk about my own stuff. But this is my authentic self. And it's in a weird position to sit up here and try to criticize art when I'm an artist myself, right? It's also one of the reasons why I know how hard it is to make something. Even if I don't like a record, like, an artist has to be totally full of shit. Like, even if I don't like a record, like, I know what it's like to be an artist, to go into the studio, to try to create something, to put it out in the world, and once you put it out in the world, it's not yours anymore. So you gotta take everything that comes with it. So I'm willing to take everything that comes with it. There's been people who hit me who said like they love my music. I've seen people get Right to Dream tattoos. That's my company. That's the first album, Right to Dream. What that represents is, you have a right to dream. And nobody has the right to tell you no. Or nobody has the right to step in front of your dream. You have the right to dream, but it's spelled WRITE because I started as a writer. I'm a writer first and foremost. I've written articles, I've written comic books, I write lyrics. For me, it starts with the written word, so it's Right to Dream. So, we put this together. And then, if you read comic books, this thought bubble represents, in comic books, there's a speech bubble and a thought bubble. The speech bubble is what you say out loud, and the thought bubble is what you think to yourself, but you never say out loud. And for me, a dream, when we wish to do these things, when we wish to transcend, it starts as a thought first. It's a conversation within ourselves, and we got to build up and master that conversation within ourselves before we can speak it out loud. So the album, the music, the stuff that you hear on the DSPs are me speaking out loud. These videos are me speaking out loud. But this thought bubble is trust that these conversations happen here first, before you say it to the world. But that's it. I didn't want to make this too long. It's probably already longer than I intended. But, I just wanted, because a lot of people hit me too. It's like, yo, it's the anniversary of your project. Why don't you say something? Why don't you do something? Like, why don't you post about it? And again, it's easier for me to celebrate other people's joints than my own. Like for me, just having it out in the world, the therapy that I felt recording it, getting that stuff off my chest and putting it out and knowing somebody relate is enough for me. But again, if you listen to the music, I love you. Thank you for the support. If you haven't listened to the music and you're interested, again, start with Fake Chains. Don't start with Right to Dream. I got better projects than Right to Dream. But start with Fake Chains. And if you want to hear a project, I have a project called If You Don't, You'll Regret It. And that'll give you a good idea of what I'm about. But till next time, like, subscribe, comment. We're still going to go live on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I want to talk about the state of hip-hop with y'all. I got a lot of things that we want to discuss. There's going to be a lot more activity on this channel, so I appreciate y'all, all right? Peace.